In this presentation, we want to raise the issue of the DMR schema: data, model, result. This topic can make us realize why the result of many business models can be suboptimal or even erroneous. For this purpose, we will add to each area the DMR and its quality. Correct, that is perfect, or erroneous, that is incorrect. We assume that solution providers for technical data have the tools to guarantee us data that will be technically and properly recorded. This allows us to recognize that the technical data is valid. Thus, for our GIJO model, which I will present, we accept that the input data comes from the source of business data. Model GIJO, about which you have already heard, assumes that in case the input data is incorrect, then we can be sure that the result will also be erroneous, regardless of what type of model we use. I will now present a matrix of any events that may arise in our GIJO model. As you can see, we have 3 paths that lead to an erroneous outcome, but we only have one correct path that brings us to the perfect outcome. Summarizing our event matrix, we can conclude that the probability of generating the correct result is about 25%. Okay, however, looking realistically, we can assume that companies in most cases apply perfect models in their daily business, even though they are statistical models or models generated by consultancy firms. In conclusion, if the model is perfect, we can conclude that the actual chance of generating the correct result is up to 50%. Thus, the correct result depends only on batch data. Now let's discuss the issue of suppliers. Who are the type of supplier or each solution in our DMR scheme? Because the result area is the end of our process, we'll specify it as a result visualization. This allows you to add vendors that specialize in the field of data visualization. First, we have typical standard solution providers for storing and archiving technical data. Another example is business model providers, such as the statistical information we have already mentioned. And finally, we have vendors that enable graphical visualization of the data, regardless of whether the data is correct or incorrect. These providers visualize everything. So, who is responsible for the correctness of business data? Well, because of the vast variety of industry sectors, the customer themselves are responsible for the business data. So, what is the solution that we offer? We aim to fill the gap in the business data area and provide the perfect data in client models. Thus, the main task is to become a guardian of business data. As a result, the customer no longer has to deal with this subject and has the ability to use perfect data in without wasting time on verifying and defining the batch data. The solution that is responsible for perfect data in, we have called Discover. At the same time, we also provide proprietary models of business analytics from the insurance industry. Models which in decades of practice have passed the exam of reliability and effectiveness. Only a constellation consisting of perfect data in through a perfect model gives a guarantee for the correct result, perfect out result. Here, we would like to close the DMR topic with the hope that we were able to emphasize the problem of the probability of obtaining the correct result. We want to emphasize the simultaneous role of Discover in creating perfect data, perfect model, and perfect outcome.